everybody? Welcome back to episode 3 of my building of Cuaveopolis, my new city here in Cities Skylines that I am master planning with unlimited money. In today's episode, we are going to be solving our residential demand issues and building a neighborhood for people to move into. In the last episode, we took care of a bunch of utilities. We built our first industrial area, and we built some sort of the beginnings of our downtown area, just so we can kind of get a feel for how we want to lay it out. But it is time to be a little bit more realistic and sensible this time and build just a regular neighborhood. So let's get started. So I think our best bet is to probably build a little neighborhood right here, just real close to downtown, close to the train station so people can move in easily. You can see we've barely built anything, and there's already 400 people using this train station every week, so we might as well build stuff close to it. The way I'm going to start this off is with my main arterial road right here coming off of this roundabout. So I'm just going to use picker to grab whatever road that was. I think it's a 4-lane road. And we're just going to figure out where's this road going to go. So I'm going to make sure all my snap tubes and stuff are on. Gonna match it up with that road, and then I think the best bet is for us to make this a bridge, and we have to decide, do we want it to go left and kind of go this way, or do we want it to literally just go straight across towards our eventual airport, which we'll be building in a future episode. I like the idea of bending this road this way, and let me tell you why. If we just keep this road going straight, it's going to be far too easy just to make this whole area just kind of a boring grid. This is also the shortest passage, so it would be the cheapest bridge to build anyway, so I feel like that's kind of realistic. So I'm going to bring that up a little bit further, and then I'm going to swing the bridge. So now we have this bridge. I don't really like this bridge. I'm going to change this to something else. Yeah, I like that. I think that's cool. It's simple, but it's pretty. Okay, so now we have our main road going through the neighborhood, so we can continue to fill in the rest of the streets. And we already have some of the work done for us, because if you'll see, we already have all these streets over here. So what I'm going to do is just connect them up like I did with these ones. And, okay, I'm not loving what's going on here. This is very strange, the way that the water's acting. And the way that this terrain is. Again, I'm going to see if I can smooth things out and see if that makes any difference. Okay, and this water is bugging me a little bit, so I think I'm going to actually do something about it. I'm going to make this wall a little bit sharper, and same with this. Alright, so you can kind of see what I'm going for here, which is building a wall sort of on our downtown waterfront, and hopefully that'll help with some of this water strangeness. Yeah, this is a challenge just because water in this game acts weird. Like, you'd expect it to kind of just stop there, but for some reason it goes up like this. So I'm honestly just gonna let that do its thing for a little bit, and then I'm gonna come back to this area and probably rework it just a little bit. Alright, so I now have kind of built some roads through here. Like I said, I'm going to come back and make this look slightly less weird in a little bit, but I'm going to continue building some roads around this area. So what I'm going to do is grab this road, and I'm going to just let this one kind of follow. Oh, whoops. I'm going to let this one kind of follow our main road, at least to a point. I won't build another bridge, obviously, but I'll probably have it come underneath here. So let's go ahead and weave this, yeah, just like that on the waterfront. I'm going to start this as a grid, and then I'm going to kind of morph it as it gets closer to the water, I think is my goal here. Okay, so now we have some idea of kind of where these streets are going, so I'm going to go ahead and just add maybe some little cul-de-sacs. Just some nice little, for people that want to live right on the waterfront, maybe some wealthier homes and stuff up this way. Wait. Alright, let's fix the weirdness of these streets. Let's make sure they're high enough to evade the water. So I'm going to change the way this district works. So this is no longer, well, we'll keep downtown running kind of to this train station along sort of this corridor and maybe above that road. But then everything between the industry and this ocean, this is all a new area. Alright, so now let's decide on a style for this. I think, since this is still downtown and fairly dense, I think we're gonna go with Brooklyn and Queens, and probably also Brooklyn reworked, and try to get maybe both of those buildings in there. We'll hit save. And then I'm also, just for kind of for shits and giggles here, I'm gonna add eclectic as well. And then maybe we can add on the waterfront, like some single family homes might be kind of cool. Alright, and you can see because we built so much industrial right off the bat, all of this just started exploding with development, and it looks a little weird because like there's nothing else built, which almost makes me wonder, is this too dense for this area? Maybe, we'll see. These still have to upgrade to develop into full-blown houses, so it may look a little strange for a minute. I'm gonna actually just extend this up here a little bit, because I think it would make sense for the density of some of these buildings to be up this way. Now, it's a lot of the same colored buildings, I will admit. But it's also because we haven't built any commercial or anything yet, so let's get cracking on that. I think we should just leave this main road as a low-density commercial corridor, and just on either side. Which actually, I'm going to go ahead and add, I have a style saved called Realistic Commercial. I'm going to go ahead and add that in. Alright, the city is really coming alive for the first time in this series, which is super excited to see. As you can see, the buildings here are still kind of under construction, but things are starting to hustle and bustle, especially along this corridor for the first time, which is kind of funny because this corridor doesn't actually go anywhere yet. As you can see, the residential demand and the commercial demand are still super high. We don't even have enough workers for the high density stuff yet. So let's go ahead and look at our downtown. Let's find a nice high rise just to help take care of some of these problems. All right, now I think I'm gonna go with this building. It's a super interesting looking building for a skyline. So I think I'm gonna plop this somewhere, and it's all residential, so find a good spot for it. I think that's as good a spot as any. I'm cool with that. And you can see immediately, because we did zone so much industrial, we're at almost 15,000 people, and the line of cars waiting to get into the city worries me greatly. Holy smokes. Wow. Okay, let's go ahead and make this a 4-lane just for a little bit so we can let those guys merge, give them some room. And then yeah, so what I'm going to do with traffic manager is go in here and just tell the game that those guys get that dedicated lane, and then the rest of these guys get these lanes. That way they can all just keep going. They don't have to try to like merge, they just get their own sort of on-ramp, which doesn't seem to be doing much at the beginning. Alright, so what this is telling me, this craziness in traffic, is two things. One, this interchange is not going to cut it for right here. And two, we need a cargo train station for these guys, because as you can see, they're making so much stuff, they don't even have enough people to sell it to. So let's go ahead and take care of that. And I think it might make sense to have one like down here, because the train tracks are straight here anyway, and this is right before they split off into their separate directions. So I think this is going to be the best place for us to do this. So I'm going to get a 4-lane road, probably like this, and pick a spot in between the highway, kind of like that. I'm going to build that up like this, and then maybe a little something like that. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is get rid of the rail line for now and go into here and grab the cargo train station and some rail. Connect that up all nice like that. And then hopefully this will help at least a little bit with allowing fewer trucks to be using the freeway. These guys can sell more, and hopefully that will help a little bit with some of these traffic problems, because this is unacceptable. And it's fine in the city. We haven't even like built anything in the city. It's just all these people trying to get in. And sometimes when you're building a new city, especially when you're building it like I am, where you're building it with unlimited money and just kind of building big stuff right from the get-go, you're gonna have problems like this, because our infrastructure is not built for there to be 16,000 people living in like 3 blocks. So we got to do something about this, and fast. Alright, just for now, to alleviate some of these problems, let's just see what happens if I like, well, from that side didn't make any sense, but alright, so yeah, adding these two things here seems to have helped a decent amount, and it's made this part worse a little bit, but it's made this area much better. You can see there's some weirdness going on, but overall, like, traffic is okay for the time being, so I'm glad that's taken care of. Alright, so before I close out this episode, let's finish what we came here to do, which is this little neighborhood. So I'm going to add just a little bit of shopping, just low density along some of these streets, so people don't have to walk all the way over there if they don't want to. Just, you know, a little restaurant or a little shop, a little corner store, whatever it may be. Also want to make sure our services are good. So death care and all that is not looking great over here. See if maybe I could fit a tiny little church right by some of the houses. Might be a good way to transition from the higher density to the lower density. A little steeple. In terms of police, they would like a police station, it seems. So what if I give them this little tiny guy? And then can I move him into this little space? Perfect. Tiny little police station, but it does something. They're happy about it. Let's go ahead and make sure fire is taken care of. And fire is actually good for the most part on account of the other one, but the industrial would like some. So let's go ahead and put one right there on that little cross street. Beautiful. Very nice. Fire station number 3. Fits into the industry super well, and holy cow, it's just a sea of chimneys. Alright, now to help level these guys up and to help with our education problem, we definitely need a school of some kind over here. It might make sense to have a high capacity elementary school over here somewhere. I'm going to put it over here, kind of consistent with the density we see over there. So that'll help these guys a little bit. And then maybe we'll also do the same thing we did with that other church and just put a tiny little school right here that is somehow a part of the church. Alright, let's go ahead and put some more of these low density houses along the waterfront. And you can see that for the first time our city's profitable, which is cool, and we got almost 20,000 people moving in here now. I mean, we should build a high school. And I think it would be nice if we had like a proper little campus, and we got a nice room for that right here. So what I'm gonna do, find a nice high school asset. Let's go ahead, we'll do this suburban high school, and you can kind of combine them to make a cool little building. And what I'm gonna do is take a road and send it like this, like that. And then in this area, I think it might be nice to maybe get some kind of sports venue or something, like a field for the high school. Alright, so we put those 2 sports venues down, and that doesn't look too bad, I gotta say. Interesting little high school campus. Let's go ahead and get some parking, actually. Just go ahead and plop some of these down. Make that look a little more realistic. But boom, yeah, that's a high school right there. Alright, so on that note of building this high school and upgrading some of these houses here, I think we've reached a good stopping point for this video, but before we do that, we are going to have to name the neighborhood. I don't like to think too hard about this. Waltham. Boom. Alright, so thank you for watching this video. In the next video, we'll be continuing to expand our central city and work on our downtown and kind of get this area developed. And then we'll probably be looking at expanding outwards towards our airport, our industrial areas, and stuff like that. But thank you very much for watching this episode, and I'll see you guys in the next one.